Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we are talking to the Bootstrap Boys. Check it out. Oh, how do you like that? All right. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I am talking to Jake, Nicky, Jonny, and Jeff of the Bootstrap Boys. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing great.
Awesome. It's fantastic, man. So I think the very first time I saw you guys was at Dark Horse. I think it was like a 4Elf show. I'm trying to remember when that was, but I think the most memorable time I saw you guys was at Ironfish. I think it was the Hats and Horses. They're kind of like a derby, their Kentucky Derby thing, and you guys played out in that barn. And there's just people all over dancing and having a great time. And I was like, man, this is fucking awesome, man. And I was, what I really loved about your band is that it's kind of that old school country, the country that like my dad used to listen to that I still love, as opposed to like new country, which I mean, you guys could be fans of that. I don't know, but I really love the old school vibe. And I was curious, like, what was it about the old school country for each of you that made you want to like play that music? And
well, the whole thing started with this concept of me. I really wanted to write an album that was like what I guess my idea of country music was, in 5 songs, and call it Country Songs for Sale as an EP. And that is what happened, but it went way beyond what I initially started it as, and it turned into a lot of new stuff. But it started out because I was obsessed with old cowboy songs, and so were the rest of us. And we were like, let's play a few of those tunes, and a couple Marty Robbins songs later, we were like, all right, let's do it more. Let's write some stuff,
Yeah, awesome. So, Jeff, how about you? What got you into wanting to play country music?
Well, I joined partway through, and the reason I stayed was because of Jake's original songs.
Awesome.
I often tell him that his lyrics are the reason I stayed in the Bootstrap Boys when they brought me on to a couple shows in the UP. And it's really Jake's original music. That's why I'm here.
Cool. And Nicky, how about you?
It's when I joined the band, same reasons as Jake. I was super into the Marty Robbins old school cowboy and like harmony songs when we first started. I wanted to do something like that, project like that, where we could have really simple instruments and complicated harmonies.
Nice. And Jonny, how about you, man?
I left a band that I was with for 17 years to play with, no offense, Jeff, but to play with two of my favorite people ever, really. Because Jake and I all worked at a coffee shop together.
So did
and Goldie.
Yeah, so Goldie.
Okay. And
awesome.
So
and out there. So
I really experience because I really wanted to be on the road more and to play more in general, I guess. And so now, I don't know, I'm sort of living my dream right now.
Cool. That's awesome.
I've been in the band for maybe a year and 4 months.
It's his first day.
He's still on the honeymoon with it.
Oh, you have no idea. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm at a campsite and there's all this amazing stuff happening around me. Yeah, it's just
smell of bacon.
Awesome. Yeah. And so I picked up the latest album, Between the Hat and the Boots, which I think is fantastic. Love that album. It again, that kind of old school country that I really dig. But I was curious, like, what was the inspiration for covering that Woody Guthrie song, all you fascists are bound to lose.
I mean, I didn't even know it was a song. I heard like this version of it. I forget even whose or where, and I was like, "What? This is a thing, and it's so poignant for our times." Like, we just had to pick it up and run with it.
I think I played it on my phone when we were playing in Wisconsin. It was the middle of winter, and there was nobody in the bar we were about to go playing, and I just randomly found it on YouTube. We were like, "Well, gotta learn that one now."
Yeah, so it just went directly into the playlist right away, and there was never a second thought.
It's also a crowd tester to see if people will leave or not.
Like, see who we want to hang out with after the set.
A crowd tester. Awesome. I love it. And there's also a song that, I sang in church, and I'm wondering, Jake, is that, I'm going to guess that's a personal story about you being, as a young man singing in church.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You guess right.
Yeah. So how important is that song to you and the rest of the band as far as the foundation? Did you all have that? Because I know that there's quite a few people I've talked to that in music, particularly vocalists, that's where they started. Whether they're singing in a heavy metal band or a country band, a lot of people started in church, and they got that. That's where they got their vocal chops from, or musicians. So I was just curious, like, was that a foundation for everyone or just you?
I think, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak specifically for my own foundation. Like, at the same time as I was singing in church, I grew up in a house that was obsessed. My mother was obsessed with Elvis, and then therefore I was obsessed with Elvis. So at age of 5, I was in those slippery socks before church, slipping and sliding on the coffee table, doing my best, impression of the King. And
Awesome.
then in church, I'm sure I was like the little girl in that Christmas movie Prancer, where she's like the loudest person singing in church.
That's awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. Did anybody else have any like church backgrounds as far as like getting inspiration from music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, I sang in church as well. It's the thing.
Yeah. The sound you guys have, it's very, again, that roots of country Americana music. It seems to transcend geography, right? Because you guys are from like mid Michigan, west coast of Michigan. What are your thoughts about that as far as being a country band where you've got definitely a sound like you could be down in Tennessee?
I lived for a couple of formative years in Tennessee in 98 and 99, in my early 20s, and hung out down there a lot. And, probably every time I drink around someone with a Southern accent, a little bit comes out, but I do call everyone y'all. Easy because it's inclusive, and
yeah,
it doesn't, it shouldn't offend anyone.
Yeah. Does anybody in the band have any actual Southern heritage? Do you got family that's from the South?
Kansas.
I do. I have 2 uncles that growing up were preachers in Kentucky, and I went down and spent a lot of time with them as a child. My Uncle John and my Uncle Bob, and both of them were heavily involved in the church. And my Uncle Bob, I think, is one of the remaining living members of the Kentucky Mountain Bible Holiness Association. And these Christians roll hard. There's nothing wrong. And I didn't even mind look bad. They don't fuss with it.
That's awesome.
That's like a fake church.
They fade it out.
So I like to try to get into dig in a little bit on the origin stories for you guys as musicians. Like, what got you wanting to play in a band, and where did that drive to make your own music start?
Nick was actually born with a guitar in hand.
I was gonna say, Nick's. For anybody that's not
In general,
seen you guys, fantastic guitar player. Seriously, dude. Fantastic.
And that is my intro. I was 10. I was like probably 9 when I really. My dad showed me Jimi Hendrix. And I locked myself in my bedroom until I was 20. Only. It's an
Awesome.
absolute obsession.
Fantastic.
Still got it.
Jonny, how about you?
Well, I literally went through so many different things. So like you, I was young, but it was like violin and snare drum, and then what was it? Piano, and then guitar, and then back to violin. Went to college for guitar and vocal stuff. People said I was a good singer. The only person without a mic, just let you know.
Never getting one.
I'm never getting one. But then, like I just started picking up different instruments and stuff. I don't know. I shouldn't say I always wanted to be in a band. I actually have a background in music theater, which is ridiculous the more I think about it. Like,
You didn't know that.
But I started writing my own music. Actually, two of my best buds pulled me aside and we started writing music together, and they started showing me the ropes because when they were 12 years old, they were putting out their own. Like years later, when they asked me to do something, like, hey, this is how you write the song. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know. There's nothing like it, and I love it.
Awesome.
And playing with my best friends is trying to run this. So.
That's fantastic. And Jeff, how are you?
For me, it started with my mom forcing me to take piano lessons. Like I think when I was years old.
Hey, man.
I did that for like 5 years or so. She had an old acoustic guitar that I picked up. I liked that better. Worked a summer job, bought my first guitar, like Nick, locked myself in my room for years. Made a band with middle school friends. We were in 7th grade. We would go to the band room on our lunch break and play fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit over and over again. Then I made like my first real band, collaborating with new friends that I made when I was 17, and just been going ever since.
Cool. And Jake?
I started off playing pretty early too. My parents had some type of party going on. I don't remember what for, but my dad showed me how to play the 2 chords that were important to Kenny Rogers and the Gambler. And I started to play them over and over again. And then, by the time I was 13, I got my first guitar, and that was my own, because there was always guitars around the house, but I got my first electric guitar, which was
Yeah.
And then I just spent years, I don't even know what I was doing. It certainly wasn't advancing any skill other than just noise and distorted sounds. But, eventually it came around, and the rest is history.
Awesome. Very cool. So I know you guys are constantly before the pandemic and now after the pandemic, you're able to get out there and do shows, and you've got a great circuit of places you play, particularly around Michigan. And I was curious, do you have a favorite area in Michigan where you like to go and do a show? And that doesn't have to be necessarily a place, but
All of the UP,
Right. This whole part of Michigan, and anywhere in the UP, all the way up to Copper Harbor at the farthest north brewery ever. It's just a beautiful drive to get up there.
yeah. Was it Brickside? Is it Brickside or?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
Where the bartender is also the EMT.
Right. Everybody's got 6 jobs.
Awesome. Is that the true for all of you? I mean, that's what you like, is the northern part of the lower and upper UP?
I mean, I love driving through northern Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, driving to shows anywhere between Manistee and Traverse City, that stretch of like to Traverse City parties. Actually, I'll just go ahead and back it right on down to Benton Harbor, all the way up to Traverse City. That whole stretch of coastline. Just everybody who's along that coastline has a different mindset. They're like, "Woo, we're on the beach. Fuck it, let's party." You know,
Right.
Yeah. Here, I have a specific spot I really like. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the city, but it had that slanted door, that brewery,
Ishpeming,
and that disc golf course.
Yes. Oh man,
that was probably one of the more cooler venues and like beautiful landscape I've seen.
So we played at Cognition Brewing in Ishpeming.
Oh, my buddy Jay is it runs that place. Yeah,
yep.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Short and older. Yep.
Yep. And Chris is the brewer, Chris Thompson. He's a great guy. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, yeah. Well, they're having some.
Yeah, but we all disc golf, and we've hit that disc golf course there in I think it's Nobbinway, the next town over.
Oh yeah.
But it's built in that abandoned city around that abandoned mine or closed down mine. So it's like you play through the ruins of structures, walk down the beach with no houses and steps that lead to nowhere. All kinds of crazy stuff.
I gotta check that out, man. I've not really played much disc golf, but that sounds cool as hell.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. And
take the opportunity to officially challenge Full Chord to a disc. Brother.
That's right. The gauntlet has been laid down right now. Disc golf challenge.
But we
and you guys do end up hitting a lot of breweries.
We do.
You're playing Shorts. Yeah. And are you all beer drinkers?
Well, not everybody, but most of us.
Yeah. And do you have if you had to pick a style that you thought the Bootstrap Boys represent, what would that be?
Like a style, like a style of beer.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like is Bootstrap Boys a Pilsner? Is it a stout? Is it a porter?
Oh, no. A beer that represented us would be like probably a clean, crisp IPA around 7% for the dry fin.
All right.
6.8. 6.8. What's this one? 7.2.
6.6.
Yeah. For how long have you been there? 7 years? 8 years?
Over that, yeah. 7
Oh, really?
years.
Nice.
9, 10 years. They tell me 9, but it's
So we kind of talked a little bit about like how you guys got started in music, but was there a particular person or event that really like sparked you and inspired you to be a musician? So like, you know, Nicky, you'd mentioned like Hendrix, but was there a particular musician, and it could be somebody local to you, it could have been your uncle, but was there a particular person that that really inspired you and made you think like, you know, I want to jam?
When I was a teenager, I met Marty Stewart, and I said to him, "You know, it's my dream to be up there doing what you're doing." And he said, "Well, son, do it."
That's awesome.
I said, "Well, son, do it." You know, because he's like 1'3", 6'3". But it's always stuck with me.
Awesome. And Marty Stewart, man, he's a player. He is awesome. Hell yeah. Jonny, how about you, man? Was there somebody?
I didn't realize that I wanted to play music until I was later, like professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my buddies that taught me how to play music. That was like a go-to.
The launching pad. Cool. And Jeff, how about you?
Well, actually, when I said earlier that my mother forced me to take piano lessons, I actually enjoy it. I don't like the patterns of it. I think the patterns of it really what brought me in. But when I saw my cousin Jared play guitar, I can still think about like what it felt like to first learn how to play a guitar, and like how it's new. It's like watching your favorite movie again for the first time.
Yeah.
And I actually ended up taking lessons from him later on.
Awesome.
But he was probably the one that really influenced me. do that.
It's cool to have somebody in the family that can, show you the ropes and give you some info. That's awesome. And Nick.
Yeah, my dad gave me my first guitar. Showed me how to play Secret Agent Man on 2 strings, and I, quickly surpassed him in his skill, as he always tells me to this day. He says, "When you played for about 2 weeks, you got better than me."
He's
Well,
going.
it was more of an event that made me want to do it for the rest of my life. Was like plugging into a borrowed Marshall amp at the old intersection in Grand Rapids
Oh,
for a battle of the bands when I was like 14 years old, and I played a Blink-182 cover, and it was over, man. It was like all over. From there on out, that's all I could think about.
awesome. There is something cool about, and when you see somebody on stage, when you're at any age really, but when you're young and you're getting into the music, because I remember seeing, I'm blanking on his name, but just this wall of sound, coming off this guitar, and I'm thinking, son of a bitch, how do you do that? How can you be that guy that's fucking,
Yeah.
When you play shows and the singer tells you to turn down.
What you do is you run a couple of stacks in stereo on opposite sides of the stage.
and there you got it. So if you could go anywhere in the world on any stage, where would you guys like to go?
The Ryman Auditorium, hands down.
Nice.
Red Rocks
Nice. Jeff?
Yeah,
or
I-
SNL.
I have no idea.
that would be something I've never been.
To be honest, the ones that always like get me the most are like the ones you don't expect, the little dive bars where the crowd's just super rowdy.
It's like
Those are great.
100 people in the bar.
Yeah.
I
That's a
would
good
100% say I'm like maybe someplace weird, like middle of the woods.
Oh, cool.
That sounds great, Get
We have some cool shows in the middle of the woods. We played a venue up north called the Art Park.
Oh,
This
yeah.
place has 6 sculptures in a tiny little 5-acre area or whatever. How many acres it is, I'm not sure, but there's several sculptures in the woods too. Maybe more than what I said. And then there's a giant stage with all these like bleachers lined up in front of it for like natural seating.
Yes.
People can bring up. It's a super cool setting, and we loved that. It was a great gig.
I keep on hearing about all these places they play it, and I'm like, when are we gonna do that?
Yeah. That place is it by Boyne?
Yes,
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Yeah, because I went to see Nina and the Buffalo Riders there, and
All right.
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was
Hell yeah.
it was hot as hell. It was like fucking
Space though, right?
Yeah.
Bummer about
but the space was so cool. Because like you said,
Gorgeous.
you're in the middle of the woods, and they got that really cool amphitheater set up there, and it sounded great, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's a cool place.
we were the last people there, and we just plugged in and like turned on the porch light, pitched up chairs, and partied down all night and camped right there in the middle of the Art Park until morning.
Like we own the place.
That's how it should be, really. Just get out there and play some music. So I also like to, as far as origins, because I really, I don't know, I'm intrigued by musicians and where they came from, the magic of the music. And so, what was your first album that you ever bought? And it could have been given to you as a gift, but
First album?
yeah,
So embarrassing.
first album or tape or CD or whatever it was. Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter.
I'll go first. Weird Al Bad Hair Day.
That's really
It really was the first one I ever bought. So my own money.
Awesome.
Is this singles or?
It could be whatever you forked out and said, I really want to jam this. So,
Saved up your milk money.
yeah.
No, it's
My cousin handed me down a cassette burned version of, like duplicate version of, who knows how many times duplicated, the Beastie Boys License to Ill when I was like 12.
Awesome.
Every word memorized in no time flat.
I knew yours.
Yeah, it was 2 years late, but that's what
Jeff, how about you, man?
Most of the stuff I heard was I had an older sister, so she passed down albums to me like Cake and Offspring and stuff like that. But the first album I ever purchased with my own money because of parental control was DC Talk.
All right. Nice.
I feel a little bit better about what I'm about to say.
What was yours, Johnny?
So I was big into singles when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
So the first single I ever bought was Aerosmith's Crying single because Living on the Edge was the B-side. And I love that song. But the first full-length album I ever bought was Bad by Michael Jackson.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great album, actually.
And, what was the one with Billie Jean?
You
got the other one. I got
Thriller.
the
Jeans
yeah.
on Thriller.
We had an argument. It was that Thriller. So
Yeah.
my sister got Thriller. I got Bad. It was an argument. I really wanted Thriller as well. And it was just like, you know what I mean? Siblings, really young.
So while we're talking about firsts, how about the first concert you ever went to? So let's start with Johnny.
Come on. So embarrassed. It was I can't remember. Somebody just mentioned her name. I can't remember now. Yeah, I can't remember her name. I'm not saying that because I'm embarrassed by it, but I am kind of embarrassed by it. Who's the Christian R&B?
Oh,
Yeah, well, it was Amy Grant. Yeah, it was Amy
oh,
Grant.
all right. There you go.
If I had to rank my mind, God, I got to think it was the Blackwood Brothers at an auditorium in Big Rapids when I was like 10 or 12.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Quartet, the gospel quartet, the Blackwood Brothers.
Nice. Nick, how about you?
Mine was the Wallflowers at Grand Valley.
Really?
And got picked up by my belt loop and thrown and crowd surfed. I was 14. The coolest thing I've ever done. So. It's good.
Nice.
I won tickets at the movie theater.
Nice tell an ice cream story.
Oh. Also, all before being yeah, I was in 5th grade and I went to see again DC Talk at Atlanta.
What will people say when they find out you're a Jesus freak?
Slugs you back too hard.
Oh man.
Your first.
Oh, what do you want? Which one do you want?
Now we're asking questions.
All right. What do you want to know? What the first what?
First show you ever saw.
First show I ever saw was
Question.
Rush Moving Pictures.
Whoa!
Ni-
All right.
yeah, 19,
Fine.
1980,
Wallflowers is still better.
Yeah.
1981 at I think it was Joe Louis. I think it was then.
Whoa,
Must have been
dude.
amazing.
With Max, what was that Canadian band? Shoot, they played Go for Soda. That was their might as well go for soda to Max something. Fuck, I can't think of it now, but yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. So that was the first concert, and first album I bought with my own money was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John.
Oh, wow. Yeah, nice. Good one.
Yeah.
Bravo.
I was
Still think that was better.
Nick, you're not alone because there's been a couple of people I've talked to that Weird Al was their first. It was their first concert and their first album. Yeah. And they were even thinking, I think it was the band Edison Hollow. The drummer was saying we should cover that song from Weird Al, and like, oh shit, you should do it. Yeah.
I don't know if they hold up.
Oh my god, awesome.
Then went crazy. Not insane.
I never got that record.
I should prologue my earlier concert memory with the truth is the first time that I actually paid for a ticket to go see a concert
Yeah.
would have been like 8 years later, because I was raised in a super sheltered home where secular music was not encouraged. The first time I actually went to a rock concert that I bought the ticket for was in 1994 when I had like just graduated high school, and it was Steve Miller.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. So sticking on the concert thing, because I always like this one too, is like, what's the best concert you ever seen? What was the one that where you're like, just Jesus Christ, this is a fucking awesome show?
Not gonna lie, Future Islands at the Pyramid Scheme, I felt like he could have just been like, march outside, flip over cars, and everybody would have left. So go march. That's not like the best show I've ever seen, but the best done show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. What was the name of the band?
Future Islands.
Future Islands. Are they local?
What's his name? He was also a rapper.
No, they're like a bigger indie.
Future Islands. All right. I'm always trying to pick up new music, so I have to check it out.
Yeah, check out Future Islands for sure.
Awesome.
They got an album called Singles. Check that out.
All right.
Every single song, where like every single song is a single on a radio show. And so they wrote an album based on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
It's mostly, yeah.
Just like Rush, that was a concept.
There you go. Nick, how about you? What was the best concert you've seen so far?
Like the most impactful, I'd say for me was Weezer, Get Up Kids, and Tenacious D in Kalamazoo. And I don't know, I was 16. I just got my driver's license. My girlfriend to a concert. It was the coolest night of my life.
Awesome.
Tenacious D was an hour late playing, and everybody was still so stoked when they played. Mosh pit at Weezer, like who does that?
Jake, how about you?
Well, I mentioned I met Marty Stewart. And
Yeah.
opener for his show was Chris Ledoux, and he fucking flat tore that shit down. I mean, I never saw him fucking perform like that. He just came out and was like, and just like there were techniques, the guitars were out of control. He was cowboyed out to the nines. The whole show was just fucking balls to the fucking wall. I never saw anything like it. And it just like opened my mind to this new idea about what you could get away with and within the realms of country music.
Awesome. Jeff, how about you?
Can I do two?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I was gonna bring up one more.
All right. All right. I'll keep brief-ish. The first one was this band from Texas called Insect Warfare came up to play the old DAC.
Oh.
And it was just insane, like brutal as fuck. People mosh pitting at the time, and that was my favorite band of all time. Like at that point, so like I was face to face with them, getting shoved into them. And this dude was screaming into my face. So that was awesome. The other one was Guar at the Intersection. It's not about Guar, who was not on the flyer. The opening band was a band called Insafirum from Sweden. They're a folk metal band.
Yeah.
I had no idea they were playing, but I've been listening to them for a couple of years prior and was way into it. And I heard like the first riff, and I was like, "Wait, the fuck?" I split through like from all the way in the back, all the way to the front. Like the whole crowd is like, "I'm watching."
Awesome.
No. Current Intersection.
Right. No, everybody just got me interested.
They weren't on the bill.
Yeah, it was just cool. But I remember you told me the story. That was so I saw David Bowie before he died on a reality tour, and like it doesn't get better than that. That dude can just
Oh yeah.
On stage, man, his encore was he came on stage and did 5 years by himself.
Oh my
on a
God.
like
Yeah.
we can swear on that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah.
Get fucked, man. That was insane. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget, you know, you can see
Yeah.
this, but nobody else can. But like just like walking on this one single spotlight,
Yeah.
you have the guitar in the front, you whipped it to the front and start playing 5 years. Come on,
Yeah.
get fucked.
That
It was incredible.
that's something I regret deeply, is never seeing David Bowie, because when I was a kid in high school, I was, I don't know, 17, and I used to get baked all the time, just like smoked down like no tomorrow. And we'd go over to this dude's house, and he was super cool, and we'd listen to some music, and he broke out Aladdin Sane by David Bowie, played that, and I'm like, the fuck is this? I was just like blown away. And then I became obsessed with David Bowie, and I started listening to, I got Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, and listened to that album. Even today, you listen to that album, it's just start to finish, like just fantastic. So I envy you, Johnny, because I never got to see him. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I think Glass Spider, maybe that was the tour you were on, but I remember seeing that coming around, and I was like, didn't bite on it. I think I was too heavily into Maiden and Judas Priest at that time, so I was like,
I would like to say just to drive home the point of how good Chris LeDoux was in concert. I saw Willie Nelson in '94 with "Asleep at the Wheel" as his backing band.
oh shit.
I saw I want to say '99. I saw the Rage Against the Machine Battle of Los Angeles tour in Detroit at Auburn Hills with Gangstar, and at the drive-in as opening bands. That was intense. It was insane. Me and 5 friends split a 10-strip, smoked a bunch of hash, and went to this show. It was the craziest. But Chris LeDoux on stage, a whole other animal. Like, it was a beast of its own.
Awesome. So I'm kind of gonna spin right back into your music, and what is for each of you? What is the one song that you love to play when you guys are on stage? If you had to pick one song that you were like, I really want this in the set, and I want to play this. So,
Can I have 2 again?
all right, you can have 2.
Changing the rules, man.
All right, I'll take the
Go for it.
Go for it.
Okay, Wildcat Mountain is my favorite new song that we're playing because it just like fucking rips, in my opinion. But Strong Drinks for Heavy Hearts was the song.
Oh, I love that song.
Dude, the bass line is so damn grooving.
Yeah.
It's just like it's weird because it never stops except for those like 3 notes, the boom, boom, boom. And like other than that, I'm just moving the whole time, and it's like I lose myself in that song every day.
I dig that. I really love that song. That's a good song.
Wildcat Mountain is going to be on our new record, and it is going to it's going to slay, melt faces. But
it's going to melt faces, damn it.
Ripper, man.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Get you on the dance floor.
Jeff, how about you, man?
I think I'd have to go with Let's Roll. I think that was off what was that off of? All Boots Lord.
No, it's
Between Half Boots.
Nice.
We get past the intro, I really dig it.
It broke hard.
I just never know.
It's always different. It's just them making noise until I start strumming, and then the song starts. And that's like assuming I start on the right timing or whatever.
It was really fun rest right before the downbeat, which really adds impact.
Jake, how about you, man?
Well, Strong Drinks for Heavy Hearts is one of my favorite songs to perform. I think it's just got that combination of chords that kind of tells a story on top of a song. That
Mm-hmm.
one of my first forays into just telling a story or trying to tell a story that's, you know, not it's not like an autobiographical or a poetic tender moment or anything like that. It's just a story about these, you know, two different people, and then their relation is the, you know, I stole a chorus from a Bible verse and said strong drinks for heavy hearts.
Awesome. And Nick?
I just had it.
Oh, I was gonna say, some days I feel like I'm born to show signs. You got a new song that's really vibey. It's like a little slower than I'm normally like a person that's obsessed with fast-paced songs,
Yeah.
fast bluegrass songs.
Yep.
I like to keep people dancing and stuff. But this one's got like a walking pace vibe that I really love. It's like it really reminds me of like Leon Bridges or you know, something like that in that era, or like a New Orleans-y slow
Cool.
kind of shuffle to it, and
Yeah.
I love it. So beachy song, like you play it on the beach, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Got a bop vibe to it.
Doesn't even really have like a straight drum beat to it.
Yep, and it's 2 chords.
Oh, really? Awesome. So, you know, you guys have mentioned a couple of new songs. So I know that the last album, you know, Between the Hats and the Boots was like 2019. Is that in the works now? Or are you thinking of like another album in 2021, 22-ish?
We do have 6 songs recorded currently, and another like 7 or 8, you know, written. Not that we've all gone through and mastered those other 7 or 8,
Yep.
but there are a few in the works. And I think the concept right now is that we just want to put out as many singles as we can from it until
cool.
we can reach the point that we're ready to put out the full album. Hopefully, you know, later this year, early next year, we'll see.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you think
So
you'll
lots of things coming.
Yeah, lots of singles coming, and then
And music
like I'm
videos.
thinking, you know, more music videos.
Oh, cool.
What-
Very cool. I mean, I love the singles, but I got to tell you, I'm a vinyl man, and I love the fact that you released that last album on vinyl. It's so fucking
Well,
awesome.
once this comes together as a collection, I'm sure we'll do the same thing again.
Cool. Awesome. That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Right.
I want to show you.
Oh, shit. Nice. Nice. That is fantastic, man. I love it.
Like we do like our records around here.
Awesome. So, got another question for you guys related to, you know, playing your shows and stuff. Like, do you have any pre-show rituals? Like something you just have to do before every show, every time you get on stage? I gotta like, you know, and it can't be tuning your guitar or tuning the
No.
drums. So
You want me to tell them?
I was just
my
listening
deepest secret. I can't tell.
if it's a trade secret, you can keep it to yourself. But yeah.
Listening to Travis Tritt talk to a comedian today,
Whoa.
Theo Vaughn, on a podcast, and he was saying that they do like college football teams, like they stand around each other in a circle and just slap each other's shoulders and go, "Let's go, guys! We got to try that."
I'm not opposed.
We're playing at a brewery.
Love this. Like,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So the answer is no for me so far. We don't really have rituals.
All right.
bro. I'm gonna joking. I listened to Rhythm Nation by Janet Jackson.
All right. Yes.
Every band before that from 25 minutes.
Oh, that's a bummer. Dude. I always carry like something sentimental along and like either look at it or set it out, or playing or before recording.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll set out a box of like stones that I like that I've collected or whatever, and just have it next to some sentimental things off on the side of the stage as like a
Shrine.
focal point, shrine, grounding thing to remind me. keep me in the here and now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Jeff, did you have anything?
I really don't. I think before a show, instead of like some sort of ritual to focus me, I need to do the exact opposite and unfocus.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, I'll think too much about it.
Hey. Yeah. Oh yeah. So guys, I want to thank you so much for being on Fans with Bands. It's been awesome to actually. I mean, I don't think we've actually talked before. I've seen you guys, a couple times, but haven't actually talked. So it's great to actually meet you and get to talk to you. I've got just one last question. It's super controversial, so hopefully it won't split the band apart. But I'm just gonna throw it out there. Pineapple on pizza or no pineapple on pizza? Jonny.
I'll be the first to say I love pineapple on pizza.
Oh, all right. Jeff is totally into the pineapple. All right.
I'm neutral.
I think your favorite pizza topping is the correct pizza topping.
Total balance there. Jonny, what was yours?
I said the same thing as Jake.
All right.
Take a stance.
Yeah.
I do love pineapple on pizza. For a long time, it was my staple go-to. I get sausage, pineapple, and jalapeno.
Oh,
Wow.
I love that. I love that.
Spicy sweet works. Spicy sweet works.
man.
Have you ever had a mandarin orange on a pizza?
No.
Nope.
I didn't even think they did that. Really?
Especially with a spicy jalapeno, with a roasted jalapeno and mandarin. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
I
So,
also
the.
lime juice.
Oh, well, that seems weird. But,
Just a little.
but that's what I've heard, because I'm not a pineapple on pizza person, but I've heard it many times that it's the jalapeno and the pineapple that sets the stage. So
Gotta have that spice in there.
yeah,
Ham and pineapple is way too basic.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what am I at the BC Pizza Buffet on my lunch break?
Yeah.
If you can't do banana, all the work. It just has to have the vinegar. I feel like vinegar is sweet.
There you go. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
All right, man. See you guys.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Peace.
Cheers.
Thanks to Jake, Nicky, Jonny, and Jeff for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. Get over to the Bootstrap Boys website and get a copy of all of their music. You will be so glad you did. Hit up their website or their Facebook page to see where they are playing next and check them out live. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.